This time on Mega Shippers.
Showtime.
In Miami, Florida.
What a sight. It is beautiful.
Christian Johnson has just 2 days to offload 6 container cranes that will nearly triple the port's storage capacity.
Today, it's going to be tough. Maybe a line breaks, a wire breaks, God forbid, the bar breaks.
In Montrose, Scotland, Operations Manager Martin Simpson has to unload, check and store 1,200 meters of redundant mooring ropes before the tide turns.
If we do miss the tide, then the vessel has to sit in port for another 12 hours.
And also in Montrose, there's one man whose challenge comes from a higher power.
Hello!
Pastor Pete, the port's very own chaplain, who's there to give salvation and support to the seamen.
Everybody else in the port wants them to do something, get something. We go there and say, what can we do for you?
Provided he can find any.
There's nobody about. The Mary Celeste, I think. Anybody around?
Around the world,
We are going in. Let's go.
there's a hidden army of workers
Things can go wrong really, really fast.
who, in the face of danger and turbulent times, work in all weathers, day and night, to deliver no matter what.
Stop.
Step into the $6 trillion world of heavy logistics. Meet the people for who no load is too heavy,
Anything up in the air, it wants to come down.
no item too big,
It's a case of demolition, destruction, and make it happen.
and no route too difficult.
The more that I get off, the less stress that I have.
An industry dedicated to one common goal:
Keep it coming, mate, keep it coming.
keeping the planet moving by land, air, and sea. Meet the Mega Shippers. On the southeastern tip of the United States, Miami has the largest passenger port in the world and is widely regarded as the capital of cruising. But away from the tourist trail, the rest of the city's colossal 518-acre port is a cargo gateway to the rest of the world. With an astonishing 17 million tons passing through each year. After an 18,500-kilometer journey from China, a long-awaited arrival has just docked. And it'll soon be action stations for chartering manager Christian Johnson.
This is a big job. It is a big job. It takes a lot of people, a lot of workers, a lot of different companies, all gears working together to make one thing happen. So it's going to be a slow process, but it should go very well.
The recently docked AAL Newcastle is loaded with 6 155-ton rubber-tired gantry cranes. With a lift capacity of 40 tons and running on electric, they're part of a $38 million redevelopment of the port, spearheaded by Mark Baker.
The equipment we use now are top loaders, and you could store about 75 containers per acre, where the RTGs are almost 200.
The 31,000-ton deadweight heavy lift vessel has been at sea for 37 days on a non-stop voyage from China. At 194 meters long and 30 meters wide, it endured a tight squeeze through the Panama Canal, but has safely arrived in Miami for the culmination of a project 20 years in the making. With the RTGs built precisely to Miami's specifications at a cost of $1.6 million each, the pressure is on for Christian with a daunting dispatch ahead of him.
Today, it's going to be tough. There's a lot of moving parts. If everything doesn't go together, then, the ship could list very hard, unexpected. Maybe a line breaks, a wire breaks, God forbid, the bar breaks.
With just 2 days to unload all 6 155-ton units, Christian must get lifting as soon as possible.
Just double checking that everything's hooked up correctly, like the spreader bar, nothing's twisted. Just a quick one through, go over in my head what's going on.
And first on his complex checklist is overseeing the cutting of steel stoppers with oxyacetylene torches burning at over 3,000 degrees.
We've got to cut these free to be able to lift. All these RTGs are sitting on these saddles. When you're sailing, you've got forces going this way and this way. So to keep the cargo from moving, we put these stoppers down here to allow everything to sail tight, right? You don't want any shifting of cargo.
The RTGs will be hoisted off the ship using 2 of the ship's 4 onboard cranes. But to get to the offload point, the first one must be maneuvered past another.
We got to move the trolley all the way across. The issue that we have is that this next RTG has a platform sticking out, and it's very close. I don't know, I couldn't even see from here, but we probably have about 4 or less. So we're gonna try and bend it to give us a little bit more room to get the trolley all the way into position to be able to hook up again. But that's close.
With a gap of less than 4 centimeters, straps are attached to pull the gantry back.
We had to ratchet one of the catwalks, move it a little to give us enough clearance to pass by without damaging the RTG that's stationary. It's going very slow. I was hoping to have at least the second one already hooked up, but you know, we ran into some problems, overcame the problems, but it's going. They're coming down now. We're gonna center it up to the center of gravity, and then we'll make the lift. This is a big deal for the port. They've been waiting a long time for these. And they only gotta wait a few more minutes.
But the next hour will see the most crucial phase of all.
I want this in the air and on the ground really bad, really bad.
Montrose, on the east coast of Scotland. A thriving port dating back to 1493, and these days a key support and service hub for North Sea energy and shipping. Operations manager Martin Simpson is down at the harbour, waiting for today's cargo to arrive.
We have the Havila Venus is coming into Montrose port. She's actually been involved in unmooring a semi-submersible up west of Shetland.
A semi-submersible platform is a specialised marine vessel used for offshore drilling rigs or oil production platforms. Mooring ropes keep them secured safely to the seabed.
Specifically on this vessel at the moment, we have polyester mooring ropes. Each of them is 1.2 kilometres long. They're 166 millimetre in diameter, and they have a breaking strength of 900 tonnes.
The 1,200-metre-long mooring ropes must be unloaded within the next 12 hours. Montrose is a tidal port, which means having just arrived, the colossal 6,500-ton Havila Venus has to wait until the water's deep enough to depart.
So it's very critical that when we're actually either loading or discharging equipment is to ensure that it's carried out in a safe and efficient manner, but it's certainly for getting the vessel out as promptly as we can. If we do miss the tide, then the vessel has to sit in port for another 12 hours.
But the spools of rope can't simply be lifted off. They have to be spooled onto another reel first.
So we have a 200-ton spooling machine going on the deck at the moment. We're looking at something that weighs in the region of 25 tons in weight. It means that it can actually have 200 tons of weight actually on the shaft, which you'll actually see once the machine is in operation.
The diesel hydraulic spooling machine will put ropes stored on the ship's inbuilt spools onto mobile spools that can be discharged. At the controls is Operations Supervisor Mark Williamson.
So this is a 200-ton spooler. We would land the reel into the cradles up here, and it would lock into that bit up there. And then this is your rotation levers. So whatever direction you want to go, if you want to pay out or recover, you just go whatever way. And then that's your rev counter. So you can go faster or slower, and then you just usually set it with the vessel and then get a happy medium.
With equipment and men ready, removing the 1,200-metre-long mooring ropes begins. They start by spooling the mooring rope off the vessel's onboard drum into the spooling machine.
Stephen's just at the control panel at the machine, so he's controlling the revs and the speed of the machine. And because we're taking it off, there's not a lot of back tension needed. He's in contact with the vessel's bridge, and they just work at a speed that suits both of them.
It may look like a harmless piece of rope, but with a braking strength of 900 tons, it can break bones if it strikes the crew.
We have a policy where you don't go under the rope, or you would walk around the machine, and if tension does get too much, it can pull the machine forward, and then it can obviously hurt the operator that's standing there. This is what's called the eye of the rope. So we would put, there's a metal thimble spool that's up there that goes inside, and then the big shackle goes onto it, which connects the chain and stuff. Because you can't just pull on the end of the eye like that, it would damage your eye and stuff. So you have to put in the big spools in. This is the final end, so they'll just disconnect the spool and the D-shackle and the chain out the eye of the fibre, because you can't put that on a drum on top of the fibre in case it damages it.
To disconnect the old spool, a steel bolt fastening the vast shackle to the even bigger eye of the fibre needs removing. The safety rope is cut, and a sling and crane have to be used to lift the huge steel bolt clear. As the rope is moved onto the spooling machine, a forklift prevents any sideways movement. But then Mark spots the need for an urgent repair.
There was a slight damage to the outer cover. Just so the inner strands don't get damaged.
Used to secure rigs safely out at sea in all weathers, it's critical the mooring ropes have no weak spots.
That should be all right, aye. Yeah, we knew it was a little slight damage to the outer cover, so we're just doing a temporary fix just so it doesn't rub. But it's just to stop the inner strands rubbing up there, and we'll tape this up now.
Problem solved, and it's on with the job. The first spool has taken Mark and his team over an hour to complete. As the crane lifts it skywards and over to the dock, it looks like the other two will be done in time to hit the next high tide in 4 hours.
Yeah, we're just away to start a second one, so the deck crane will pull the end up and we'll just tie it on and then start recovering it onto the reel again. So, yeah, number 2.
Whilst Mark and the crew unload, ready to depart at high tide, the ship's captain, Tor Balland, gets news from the harbour pilot it may not be safe to set sail.
We have seen that the forecast is coming up during the evening. The pilot was concerned that the wind and the swell was too high, so it's maybe cancelled.
Back in Miami, the AAL shipping team are about to attempt to dispatch the first of 6 155-ton container cranes. They'll boost the port's capacity and its green credentials with the new hardware running on electric to replace the old diesel top loaders. Chartering manager and cargo superintendent Christian Johnson is monitoring the 2 cranes that will work in unison for the operation.
You're always nervous when you do a heavy lift, and this is a little bit awkward, especially with 2 cranes. It takes a lot of coordination, and it looks like it's about showtime.
And AAL's captain, Andrei Barbalik, is also master of ceremonies for this painstaking balancing act.
Crane number 2 and 3, put 10 tons on hook.
2 of AAL Newcastle's side-mounted onboard cranes have a combined lift capacity of 700 tons. But the main challenge is keeping the tension even to slowly raise to the 25-metre high, 25-metre wide RTGs.
Crane 3, 20 tons on hook.
Crane 3, 20 tons on hook.
You don't just yank it up. So you do it nice and slow to where everything's even. One side hasn't gone up too more than the other side.
Crane number 2, 60 tons at hook.
With the cranes delicately balanced, the RTG finally gets airborne.
We've got it in the air now. We have 0 list. We'll start moving them off the port side.
It's a landmark moment for the crowds gathered on the dock, especially for Port Operations Manager Mark Baker, who's overseeing a $38 million redevelopment.
What a sight. It is beautiful. Now, they could hold it like that for a while. We'll just take in a moment, and then we'll put it back down on the ground.
With a captivated audience, concern mounts for Sales Director Jason Gasparic.
Everything could go wrong. That's why we've got everybody staying back, and yeah, things can go wrong really, really fast at this point.
And with all eyes to the sky, pressure intensifies for Captain Andrei Barbalik.
Now I like to look at situation from the pier. Cargo is almost outside of the vessel, and from here I have a better view. Crane 3, stop. Stop 3.
The ship has to do its balancing, and the crane operators need to be working in tandem with one another, and if one moves one way, the other one moves the other way, it could get very, very uncomfortable very quickly.
Crane 3, jib down, hook up.
Crane 3, jib down, hook up.
You got to make sure the ship is straight, so you're pumping ballast from one side to the other, because if the ship all of a sudden goes to one side, those RTGs can hit the ground pretty hard, and you don't want that to happen. Not after 37 days at sea.
Mark has been waiting 20 years for this moment, as the RTGs will nearly triple his container storage capacity per acre.
Up, and they're ready to hit the deck. This is the moment I've been waiting for, 20 years.
There's less than a meter to go.
Hook down, only one touch, hook down. Okay, stop 3.
But these are the most crucial moments of all.
This crane weighs 135 tons. You just drop it, ship will immediately list to the starboard side. That's why we need to go with the ballast.
Following a tantalizing 45-minute lift, it's a successful touchdown. But the hard work is only just beginning for Christian.
So now we've got the first one off. It's rolling away.
As the RTG is driven to its destination, it will be operational almost immediately. And Christian can breathe a sigh of relief.
But it feels good to have it off the cranes and no longer our problem.
Before the whole process starts again. At Scotland's port of Montrose, the weather has improved, and still on schedule to depart at high tide, Operations Supervisor Mark Williamson and the team are unwinding. They have to get 3,600 meters of rope used to moor oil rigs unwound from the storage spools on deck in the next hour, using a 200-ton spooling machine. 1.2 kilometers of rope at a time has to be wound on to detachable spools before being craned off the ship.
Yeah, I'm at full speed.
Up on the bridge, Chief Mate Tor is in control of the ship's onboard winches.
I personally have around 150 rig moves, so how many spools I've done? A couple of thousand, I think. And there you have the alarm on the winch. Now I'm just using the winch with this winch handle to slack the fiber down to the spooler on the deck. On the screens I have 3 cameras I'm using. I'm using one camera that points behind on the deck so I see the angle on the fiber. I also have a full view of the deck, and I have one camera on the winch and one camera from the spooling device.
Unspooling and spooling. It's a slow process.
If you run the fiber too fast, it could maybe hook on something on deck, anchors or buoys or the chain on the deck. So it's important to adjust the speed as you go.
On deck, Operations Supervisor Mark and his team only have one more spool to discharge before they depart. But first, they need to hammer out an issue.
Just trying to get the locking bolts out, but one's stuck.
With the light failing and time running out, if Mark can't release the bolt quickly, the ship could miss the high tide out.
Here, you try it.
Mark calls on a young apprentice to give him a hand.
I'll go and see if I can get an Allen key just in case. Steve, is there an Allen key in here? That boat's a nightmare. That's it, happy days. Yeah, that's it fixed, that's the cover off, so we can lift the reel out now.
Let's get the young one to do it instead then.
The release bolt has been freed, so the job can be finished.
Final rope, just coming off now, so that's the day finished. It's all went pretty safe, good job, and on to the next one, I suppose.
The job's done, but it doesn't look like the ship's going anywhere.
Montrose, port control, Montrose, channel 12, do you read?
Montrose, port control, how will Venus?
Just to let you know, the pilot's just checked the channel and there'll be nothing happens tonight. Next assessment will be midday tomorrow, over.
Yeah, okay, copy that. So that's a no-go tonight. Speak to you tomorrow. Now the harbor is closed until tomorrow. So, yeah, and the pilot will assess tomorrow after lunch sometime, and maybe it's a go. But you can't do nothing about the weather, so we just have to see it tomorrow.
So it's a 12-hour wait overnight until the next high tide. In Miami's mammoth 518-acre port, 2 of 6 custom-made rubber-tired gantry cranes have been unloaded. Chartering manager Christian must now oversee the unload of the remaining 4 units.
Always under pressure to get it done as soon as possible. I'm confident we'll get the crane number 2 and crane number 1 off today. I'm confident that we'll get these last 2 into position. Hopefully I can get 1 off. We're definitely gonna be working tomorrow for sure, unless we have a miracle.
The cranes will more than double the port's cargo storage capacity and be better for the environment as the electric RTGs replace traditional diesel top loaders.
They're fully electrified, so no noise, no emissions, very, very quiet, very smooth. These cranes are not just your standard off-the-shelf container cranes. You know, a lot of people think, oh, you know, let me buy an RTG and I get it here in a few weeks. You know, this is not like Amazon or something like that, right? So each one of these cranes is actually tailored, built to customer specifications.
But they can't get to work until they are on the dock. And the first team must remove the supporting structures which held the cargo in position throughout its voyage from China.
Current situation is we've got 2 teams jacking up each edge of the RTGs to provide clearance for the saddles to come out underneath, so we can roll both RTGs into position in between the cranes and discharge those. So we're a little bit behind, but we are going to hopefully make up some time here and you know, try and get it done as safely as possible.
But jacking up the 155-ton RTGs to release the saddles is a complex operation.
We have 2 pneumatic jack-ups, but this is not enough. So we have also 4 manuals. We need to have them level when jacking up this cargo. So I'll have to monitor together with the other guys that it goes up even.
And Chief Officer Jody Lee must ensure any adjustments retain a perfect balance.
It's already lifted 1 inch, so I need another 1.5 inch to clear the saddle, and that's it. the forklift will come, push the saddle out, and they will lower it down and proceed to the other one.
But this is far easier said than done. For Sales Director Jason Gasparik, mistakes are cause for grave concern.
Essentially what happened was one of the crews actually lowered the jacks down a little bit too fast on one side of the crane, which ended up getting the crane to shift a little bit and jammed up the jacks on this side.
With the sudden drop of the RTG causing the pneumatics to jam, the experienced crew fall back on a last resort to lift the RTG above the supporting rim of the saddle.
So we're down to manual pump.
And that calls for a lot of muscle.
Just keep pumping like they're doing. It's a manpower time type of thing, so we'll see how long that takes. We got maybe another half inch of him pumping it up, so that way we got the clearance to pull it out. Yeah, he doesn't run out of energy, is what we're hoping for. Do we got it? More. Pump that. Pump that jack. All right, now you can go out.
After nearly an hour of intense physical labour, it's the moment of truth. But even though the team are working flat out for the benefit of the port, unloading hardware they desperately require, the authorities can't make them a special case in respect of their schedules.
The port wanted to kick us out, which is a problem. They have set schedules that have priority. So we aren't those people. Even though this is for them, they still wanted us to go to please their customer. So we made some concessions, and it looks like we're forward. We just got to get this done. Now the time crunch happens, everything's got to go well.
With a strict departure deadline of noon the following day, the team must make the most of the remaining few hours of daylight.
This is going to be fun. It's going to be time to crack the whip. We're definitely going to be watching everybody, make sure nobody's standing around, make sure everybody's working.
4 hours behind schedule, the RTGs can finally crawl to a precise unloading point. But the balance of the ship must be maintained during the lift. With the lift given the go-ahead.
So if it's good for the lift, then let's go for it, right?
Two cranes working in tandem take the strain.
That's what it's all about. Looking good, but it ain't good until they're on the ground.
After a short-haul flight, the third of 6 units lands.
The more that I get off, the less stress that I have, right? So, you know, I'll feel a little bit better after the next one comes off.
But Christian's mission is only half complete.
Currently rigging up the 4th one. That should be on the hook pretty soon and discharged probably within the next hour. Then we're gonna work on the last 2, get them in position tonight, and it's going actually very smooth right now, very smooth.
As the port team get their newest hardware in place, there's more movement on deck as the 4th RTG shunts into position. And as night begins to fall, has the smoothest unload so far. But as unloads can only be done in daylight hours, the remaining 2 RTGs need to be prepped tonight before lifting can resume in the morning.
Frustrating day, 4th one's off. We're gonna work late tonight. We're gonna remove the saddles of the last 2 to get them prepped for our discharge in the morning. It'll be a race against the clock. We got till noon, starting at 7, and I hope to have all this done by 10 a.m.
7,000 kilometres away in Montrose, Scotland, Port Controller John Catigan is on watch. He's trying to gauge when the 6,500-ton Havila Venus can get back out to sea.
So unfortunately we had to close the port because of the weather conditions. There was an estimated 3.5 to 4 metre swell out with the entrance. Where we are this morning, conditions have got a little bit better. I'm looking at the red buoy just now. The red buoy stands roughly about 2 metres in height. So it's a good indication for us to see how the entrance is just a little bit further out. Checking the green buoy, the Annet buoy, that is disappearing into the water. So that's telling me that just off the Annet Bank there's at least a 2 metre swell.
Montrose harbour pilot is Danny Brand. He's responsible for guiding ships safely in and out of port.
So it's still looking kind of rough out there now. It was just round the beach, like. No, the wind is getting up, like. But I'll still go out. I'll need to nip over and see the pilot boat lads anyway, because we'll need to nip out and check the entrance with the boat, like, just to make a decision.
Fair enough. Sure. I'll give the ships a call and just tell them that you're going out to check midday and... Havila Venus, Havila Venus, Havila Venus, Havila Venus. Montrose Port Control, Montrose Port Control, Channel 12. Do you read?
Montrose Port Control, Havila Venus. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, morning to you, sir. Just to let you know, sir, the pilot will be going out to check the conditions around about midday. So we'll give you an update soon after that, whether we're going to be working again today or not, over.
Okay, that's perfect. Pilot going out midday and we'll be standing by for an update.
Harbour pilot Danny is a man on the front line. He needs to get onto the water to get a first-hand assessment of just how treacherous it may be.
So we're just going to the pilot boat now. The weather forecast looked worse than it actually is at the moment, so we need to have a run out in the pilot boat and check the sea conditions for ourselves, just to see if it's going to be possible that I can get the Havila Venus sailed.
If conditions are really bad, departure will be aborted.
It's more for the fact of me boarding and disembarking the vessels at sea. If the sea conditions are too poor, it'll be too dangerous and I won't be able to do it.
Danny, joined by 2 colleagues, makes his way to the pilot boat, the North Esk. Formerly a lifeboat based in Ireland, after being repurposed, her robust design means she can safely take pilots out to sea and lead ships in and out of port in demanding conditions.
Expecting a lot more of the wind waves affecting it out here, because the swell is getting deeper the further out we go. So we'll get a bit further out and then we'll make a decision. Port control, pilot.
Pilot, port control, go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, John, that's what's been out with the Red Boy now. Conditions are workable this afternoon. So, plan A, we'll get the Havila Venus out.
Okay, Danny, just boarding the Venus as soon as you come in, over.
Yeah, that's correct, John. I'll board the Havila Venus from the seaside.
Danny heads straight back into harbour and boards the Havila Venus.
Okay.
He only has a small opportunity to guide her out during high tide while the weather's safe to do so.
Break. Havila Venus, Montrose Port Control 12.
Yeah, Montrose Port Control, Havila Venus.
I don't think we've got a huge window, I'm just a little bit twitchy, that's all. So, yeah, if you could just be ready as quick as you can, so that'll be greatly appreciated, over.
Yeah, will do.
Yeah, John, that's me starting letting go with the Havila Venus. Maximum draft 6.7. No reported defects, passes have been discussed. And they're going out to do this fibre rope work.
Yeah, copy that.
But now he's on the ship, Danny will eventually need to get off, which is where the trouble could start.
If conditions do deteriorate again as Danny's leaving the channel, once you get halfway up the channel, it's really the point of no return. So you have to head out. And if he can't get off the ship safely, he just unfortunately has to go out to the job. Stay on board the ship. If the ship is going to another port, whether it be Aberdeen, Esbjerg, Rotterdam, anywhere, Danny has to stay on that ship. And he could end up anywhere.
The pilot boat heads out into a fast-growing swell to try and get Danny off the ship.
Yeah, go ahead, Danny. Yeah, Darren, that's us coming round to 060, and we'll see how that looks. We're dropping the speed down to 6 knots now as well.
Okay, I'll give you a shout. Just balance that way. What we usually do is we kind of just hover around here, off the ladder. And as soon as we see the pilot, we'll just get him off quickly.
The pilot boat must get as close as possible to the Havila Venus. It's then down to Danny to judge the 2-metre swell and when it's safe enough for him to leap on board. any mistake now could be catastrophic, with him falling between the two vessels. He's on in a perfectly timed manoeuvre.
All right, Daz. Yeah, it's picked up more the weather, but we managed to get that lull in the weather. It gave us the opportunity to get the Havila Venus sailed. So as you can see, in the last sort of half hour, the wind's picked up. With the swell already being there, the wave height's increased. You've just got to really be careful and paying attention. You know, your adrenaline's going and you're zoned in on what you're trying to do. It's just getting the perfect timing, getting the best lee you can, you know, minimising that motion between the ship and the pilot boat as much as possible, and you know, getting your timing absolutely perfect to get from the ship onto the pilot boat, you know.
Having safely cleared port, the Havila Venus heads out to sea. And for Danny, now back on dry land, it's just another day at work.
Yeah, so we got the Havila Venus sailed and just took that little weather window that we had before the wind picked up again. I got off safely, pilot boat's not damaged, ship's fine and away doing our job, so it was a perfect day.
On the east coast of Scotland, the port of Montrose manages over 500 ships and 2.3 million tonnes of cargo annually. And thanks to the Sailors Society, over 200 ports around the world. It also provides sailors with advice, guidance, and a refuge from the demanding life at sea. Meet Chaplain Pete Donald, who served as a pastor to sailors docking in the port for 15 years.
I work for the Sailors Society, our Seafarers Centre. We've been going for 200 years, visiting seafarers of all nationalities on the ships that are just outside the door here.
His operational base is a home from home for seafarers, often hundreds of miles away from families with no means of contacting them whilst at sea. For seafarers in the middle of the oceans, there's no Wi-Fi, so contacting family and friends can be difficult.
Small but comfortable, with settees and internet and biscuits. What we like is to get the guys off the ships and get them in here. Now they can come in here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just a place where they can relax, make themselves at home, get in touch with their families.
For newcomers to the rugged Highland climate, there's other practical elements to consider.
And in here we have reserves, Bibles and books, and also we have some warm clothing, because a lot of these guys come to this country with jeans and t-shirts thinking that they've come to the tropics, but it's anything but in Scotland. The woolly hats are extremely popular. We've got a cruise ship with all that would go on one cruise ship. They just can't get enough woolly hats. Don't know what we're going to do with this, but somebody might take it.
For the 1.5 million who endure the extremities of a life at sea, the dangers can be both physical and psychological. This was recognised back in 1818, when the Society of Sailors was founded. Then, like today, Pastor Pete offers emotional and spiritual support.
You're working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, doing the same job day in and day out, missing all your friends and family. And there is that sense of being very much alone. So it's good that we can hopefully get alongside them metaphorically or literally, put our arms around them and just bless them.
Pete also offers a welcome contrast to days of obeying orders and strict discipline, no matter what faith or nationality.
86 different nationalities I've come up. Everybody else in the port wants them to do something, get something. We go there and say, what can we do for you?
And he's always prepared with the all-important must-have information.
Our bread and butter ships are the cargo ships. When they arrive in Montrose and we go on board the ship, we say welcome and I'm your best friend stuff, and we show them a map of the town because it's such a huge place for them to get lost in. With all the important venues, they can go to the money-changing shops, they can go to the sports centre, they can go to Argos, they love Argos.
And with 550 vessels docking each year, Pastor Pete is always ready to spring into action.
There we are. So So off again. See, the Alts has arrived, so we'll go and visit the guys there, make them feel welcome. I know the crew will all be Polish. There'll probably be 6 or 7 of them. And they'll be in here for maybe a day or two to discharge fertiliser from Teesside.
The new arrival is the 2,300-ton Olza carrying Polish fertiliser.
Hello!
But on such a large vessel, it isn't always easy to locate the crew.
Normally we just introduce them to the port to make sure that they know their way around, how to get into town, to the shops. There's nobody about. The Marie Celeste, I think. Anybody around? They must be hiding.
Finally, the persistent pastor tracks down some of the seamen.
Hello, I brought you some goodies. Polish news, Polski. Holy hats. This is the map of the town. It's only 5 minutes walking, maybe 10 minutes. Supermarket is open until midnight, and pounds, you have pounds, euro or dollars. I can change money.
Card.
Your card, yeah.
Yes.
This is me, my card. If you need anything, you call me. Except money, I don't get the money. And no girls.
Maybe I need some from Argos.
Argo, yeah.
So, yes,
I have the catalogue. You want the catalogue?
No sooner said than done, Pastor Pete returns with the goods.
Catalogue. Everything there.
And it's happy days for this seafarer.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
God bless you. Okay, thank you.
Pastor Pete has made the initial contact, but his essential work is far from over.
Good visit. We'll be back tomorrow and see what we can do with them. Take them to Argos or the supermarket and get to know them a bit better. Good.
Over the next couple of days, he'll be the friendly face all the crew can turn to, whatever support they need. And hopefully send them off in high spirits as they head back to the high seas. An unsung maritime hero, like many other port-based chaplains all over the world. It's 7 a.m. in Miami. And it's a bracing start for charting manager Christian as he boards the AAL Newcastle.
Got a bit cold, huh? It's Miami, it shouldn't be this cold.
There's just 4 hours until the ship's berth is required for another vessel. And Christian still needs to unload the final 2 155-ton RTG cranes.
Now we're gonna take number 4 here, and we're gonna move it just a little bit toward the port side so we get a little bit more room, a little bit more clearance, and we can safely get everything hooked up.
But he's already been forced to call out another piece of kit.
Cherry picker's coming up just so we can safely hook up to the beam on this one. We just got the two RTGs are too close together, and I don't want anybody walking up so far on that beam. Slight setback, but nothing we can't overcome, right? Better to be safe than sorry.
The cherry picker will be required to enable safe access to rig one of the crane's beams.
I think it's on the side.
It has to be taut.
But keen to minimize the delay, Chief Officer Jody Lee rigs the opposite beam, which can be safely reached. Each RTG has been constructed with integrated lifting eyelets for this process.
Yeah. Small pins, but capacity is big, heavy.
The cherry picker is hoisted onto the deck. But time continues to seep away.
Suddenly something changes. So now we're back to rigging up the main beam to put it up there. I mean, it's just the distance. I just didn't feel safe with somebody climbing out on that ledge right there.
As the team ascend nearly 100 feet, pressure rises among the crew.
It's making it a little bit nervous time-wise. It's going to be really, really, really close.
With the apparatus attached,
Standing out. Okay, we're going to boom down.
the sense of urgency ramps up.
We need to be off by noon. We got 1 hour and 23 minutes. Gonna be close. Gonna be very close.
The fifth RTG lands smoothly, but there's less than an hour to complete the job. Determined to work a miracle in Miami,
Well, the Port Authority is putting a lot of pressure on me, saying there's no way. And we're gonna show them, yeah, we're gonna do this.
Christian coordinates the final lift. And eventually, the clock can be stopped.
So it's 12:34 and we just got the last unit on the ground. So all we have left to do, guys go up, unhook it, and we are done.
It's just over half an hour behind schedule, but with news emerging that the incoming ship has been delayed, the berth can be vacated, ready for the next arrival.
Having the empty deck, it feels great. I mean, we have, you know, when it's basically the job's complete, you know, feels good. Job well done from all parties.
And with the stacking specialist RTG cranes set to nearly triple Miami Port's storage capacity from 75 to 200 containers per acre, it's also a winning proposition for the environment, with the RTGs running on electric and paving a way for a greener future for the shipping industry as a whole.